The Beach FM Business Lunch Show, brought to you by PlaceMakers Kapiti Horowhenua. Together we're building New Zealand.
Welcome back to the Business Lunch Show on Beach FM 106.3 with Damian. Well, let's talk one of my favourite things in this world, I swear. And even up to a carton or two a week, you know. Enough about me, but let's welcome into the show Harry Bennik from Benniks Poultry. G'day, Harry.
How's it going? All right?
I'm very, very well, mate. How are you going?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. Oh, started already. Harry, it's an interesting time for all of us, but what we like to do first and foremost when we're talking to our businesses around the region is just to get to know them a bit more and how you came to be, how long you've been in the game, and just a bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I mean, I've basically been in the game all my life. I took over the poultry farm for my parents a number of years ago now, and but in saying that, it's still very much a family-owned and operated business. It's run by myself, my lovely wife, of course, my son, 3 daughters, 2 son-in-laws, and even some of my grandkids help me out on the weekends and school holidays.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Harry, was it something that you did enjoy, like following on in the family business, or was it just kind of like, here you are, this is what you're doing?
No, I very much enjoy it.
Excellent.
and basically, the poultry farming certainly, does have its interests and its challenges. Probably one of the greatest things that I achieved during the time that I've been operating it is that we made a decision in the 90s to pull away from completely away from cage farming, as that was something that I was never very comfortable with, and I also saw that there was growing opposition to keeping hens in cages, so we made the decision back then when basically the bulk of the poultry farmers in New Zealand were converting to more modern cage systems. We decided to go completely cage-free, and we pioneered modern cage-free farming in New Zealand at that time. Wow. And we were the first commercial poultry farm to actually become completely cage-free, and we're the first in the country to get an accreditation for good animal welfare practice in doing so at that time.
Oh, brilliant. That's fantastic, because it is it's so common knowledge now, isn't it? And all the labelling now, everyone's so mindful of what they put in their mouths, and for you guys to be a pioneer on that back in the 90s, that's pretty cool. But I want to ask, there is different scales though, isn't there? Free range, non-cage. Are they the same thing, or is it just different setups?
No, there is difference, of course. There is free range farming, and we sell free range eggs, of course. Yeah. The bulk of our eggs are cage-free barn. We certainly don't sell any caged eggs, but free-range basically means that the hens have access to outside pasture. But with the cage-free barn, which is the bulk that we do, the in-house setup is basically identical to a free-range setup, with the exception that we actually are obliged to give the hens more in-house space than what free-range farmers are obliged to give their free-range hens. And we believe, I've done both types of farming, and I firmly believe that the cage-free barn is the best way to go for a modern commercial egg producer, because there is certain advantages that we have over the free range in respect to its easier management of the stock in respect to health and hygiene. The hens are protected from the elements of the weather better, and also predators that you might have outside, and also Contamination that the hens may pick up out on the paddock. You've got hens going outside and mixing with maybe wild ducks and pukekos and all sorts of animals. And, there is a risk that some sort of infections can be picked up from those animals outside the shed. So we believe that the barn system is one of the better systems for, modern commercial poultry farmers. All the basic welfare instincts of the hens are being catered for, and respect that, they've got nests to lay in, they've got scratching areas to scratch, they've got perches, they've got a continuous supply of fresh feed and water, and they're kept nice and warm inside the barns as well, and in summertime they're adequately ventilated, so they're quite comfortable, and, I think they're very happy, and they certainly prove that with the performance that we get from them in respect to the quality of the eggs and the amount and the numbers of eggs that they lay for us.
Harry, it sounds like your hens are living the high life, mate.
Well, I certainly think they are. I think it's very much a holiday resort for them, in my opinion.
A big maternity ward.
I think they're being better looked after than a lot of people around the world, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, indeed. Hey, Harry, let's talk about. I want to, because I'm going right to the source here. Really, I want to talk about the yolk, because sometimes you get different sizes, colours, textures. Is that just a natural thing, or should we be looking out for that kind of thing?
Well, no. I mean, obviously, what they eat has an important bearing on the quality of the egg. So, I mean, if they're eating inferior feed, you get a sickly, pale egg being produced. Whereas if you feed them good quality poultry feed, and we certainly don't compromise on that aspect of things. We've got poultry nutritionists that specially formulate the feed for us to make sure that the hens get everything that they need. And, we believe that we produce top quality eggs. I mean, certainly the people that call into our farm shop, we get a lot of wonderful compliments from them, and they certainly will certainly say that they can certainly tell a difference between our eggs and other people's eggs. So we think that we're certainly doing something right.
Fantastic. Hey, Harry, how to get to the point, how have the last few months been for you? I know different industries that I've talked to over the last 4 or 5 months have been affected differently, but I assume you can't tell the hens to go home and stop work, and I'm sure you were still there looking after them. So how have the last few months been for you?
Well, for us, fortunately, it hasn't been too bad, because we were deemed an essential business, being a farming establishment for food items, namely eggs. And so in the business sense, I mean, it wasn't too bad for us, and the demand for eggs during lockdown was very high, of course, So, we were one of the better off, during lockdown.
Yeah. And did you get to stop it all, mate? Because a lot of places have had time to reset, rethink their business. Maybe they could be doing things differently. Did you get that moment?
No, we didn't. As a matter of fact, we were flat out all during lockdown, and but we're always assessing how we do things, and making judgments on where we can improve things, So it's an ongoing process. So it just didn't happen during lockdown. That's something that's part of our business structure, really.
Well, for a family-run business that's been around a long time, we like to learn from our guests as well. So what kind of principles have you guys stood by that have got you through the last few decades where there has been lots of craziness happening?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question. I mean, we have always been very family focused. within our family there is a very strong work ethic, and
Sounds like it.
you know, and I think that type of attitude has been brought down into the younger generations as they've been coming through, and like I said earlier, even my grandkids now are coming to help me out on the weekend, and it's great fun. I really look forward to it. I mean, and having core family values as well. It's great to have interactions with your members of your family, and having them close by and seeing them frequently. I mean, that in today's modern world, so many families are sort of spread apart all over the world, and they don't always have the contact, that we are privileged to, So we're pretty fortunate in that respect. And, people say family businesses can have their issues, and that's certainly very true. But I think as long as you've got good respect for each other and everybody's got a good understanding of what their roles are in respect to the business and that sort of thing, then I think it does work out quite successfully.
Brilliant, Harry. Sounds like they have your house in order, and the rest will follow on, kind of
Absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
My last question before I let you go and get all your details, it's the obvious question, mate. What came first, chicken or the egg?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously that's been debated for a long, long time, but I suppose when you look at in a scientific sense, without a hen, an egg wouldn't hatch. I suppose if you believe in God, He must have created the hen first to be able to lay the eggs to sit on it. For it to hatch out. So, I really don't know. It's anybody's guess.
I don't know. It sounds answered to me there. Harry, lastly, where can we find you? How can we get in touch?
Well, I mean, we have got our farm shop is on the corner of Buller Road, Levin, and State Highway 1. Very easy to find. There's quite a lot of signage to show where our shop is, and it's not just the farm shop that we have here. It's basically part of a sort of a larger complex. We've got a garden nursery there as well, and we've also got a cafe, a very popular cafe, Salt and Pepper Cafe, as part of the complex as well. And we don't just sell our lovely eggs in the egg shop as well. It's a farm shop. We also sell other local produce, quality produce, things like specialty breads, specialty cheeses, organic juices, free-range bacon, free-range chicken, and sauces and all sorts of good things. But our emphasis is on locally produced foods. We produce in the Horowhenua here such a good selection of really good quality foods, and so we're pretty fortunate to have them in our shop there as well. And like I say, we get many visitors calling in every day here. It's a very popular place for people to call in, and we're absolutely thrilled with all the wonderful compliments that we get from people as we've been developing the shop down here, and it's a great place of pride for us, actually.
Fantastic, Harry, and yeah, just going off what you were saying there. Looking at your Facebook page, mate, it's almost an advertisement for all those local companies that you use and that you support each other. So I think it's fantastic the way the whole community is banded together around this time, and I'm sure this isn't a new thing for you, mate. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing the story and a bit of history, and I look forward to catching up soon.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome, and thank you very much.